Saturday morning, May 10th, we are headed to the Mississippi Delta. We left Jackson this morning. It rained on us the entire way up here. Just finally quit. So we're going up to the farm, get some minerals out, some cameras out, start getting some summertime inventory, kind of see what where the beans are, where the corn is, if any, has been planted out here, and getting some strategies together for bow season. So it's going to be a nice day outside. We will bring y'all along with us. Out here cleaning up some of the cameras. Make sure I got a good view of everything, and as the greenery continues to grow and the wind blowing, it can burn a lot of batteries. So one of the many projects going on today, cleaning up around all our cell cameras. What we're trying to do is knock down the grass, let this clover that's underneath kind of break free. Alright, so we just got this little area kind of weed-eated. Did like some select spots where the clover came up a little bit better. We frost seeded this clover back late January at the end of deer season. I'd never tried that before, so I figured we'd give it a shot. And it's come up a little bit, but it was time to cut back this grass because it was starting to shade it out pretty bad. Hopefully the spots where it's thicker, there's some over there you can't see, it'll allow the clover to kind of release and get ahead of this grass. And since we cut it in these kind of little weird patches, it should be pretty easy to tell whether or not it works. But we're about to dump some minerals in a bucket and find a new spot to put a mineral site. So I usually use this stuff from Tractor Supply. It is the Producer's Pride general purpose livestock mineral, and then I'll top it off a brick. Normally I buy the deer hunting versions, but Tractor Supply was out, so a nice pretty apple horse we'll have to do. So we'll be in the woods in a minute and show y'all what's next. Alright, so we got our spot. This is a spot we had a mineral site at last year. There's this old stump here and another one here. We'll probably put a little bit of minerals on both. We're in this swamp. There's a big beaver slough over here that the deer like to bed against. And the beaver dam's that way about 100 yards. It is a major pinch point funnel for everything to come across. We have a lock on in that tree behind me about 25 yards away. This is a massive persimmon tree right here. There's another one right behind Chase. I mean, I can see, I couldn't even begin to count how many are here. So that is why we picked this spot. So what I like to do is I'll put a brick on typically on a stump. If you don't have a stump, I've built up piles of branches, bigger logs. Just kind of gives something for the minerals to soak into that the deer can keep licking. And you just take your powder, cover it real good. Like I said, I'm gonna do some more over here. The powder is going to soak into the ground with the rain over time and create a permanent mineral site. And the brick just kind of aids as more of a slow release throughout the year. As it rains and as the deer lick it, it's going to go away. So that is the first mineral site of the day. We're going to do several more in kind of some different spots. So we'll see y'all at the next one. Little trick if y'all have never done it, a way to angle your cameras. Find the right size stick so it's angled downward.
All right, something else we've been doing. I've been running these mulch tree trail cameras for a while, and if you get on Amazon, you can get these little cables that plug into the bottom of them for like $6. And these batteries here are like, I think 18 bucks, 19 bucks, somewhere around there. And we've had these out since October, some since August, some since October, and every one of them still showing 100% on the battery. If that's true or not, I don't really know, but just something to look into to save you some money. These work real well for me. I just set them by the base of the tree, wrap them around a time or two if I can get 2 out of it. And plug it right in the bottom of the camera. And then you all good, all set.
We just found a beautiful box turtle. Real yellow shell, orange head. It's a male.
Check close up.
That's why they're called box turtles, if you didn't know. It's because the bottom part of the turtle shell is called the plastron, and box turtles have this hinge where they can collapse it, whereas other water turtles and most turtle species do not have that. So that's why they're called a box turtle. Pretty cool. Okay, so like I mentioned a minute ago, some spots we put them on existing stumps, other spots we kind of make a stump. So this is one brought in this big dead oak limb last year and met a site. I just kind of added another log we just found a second ago. A little bit of different spot here. More oak trees over here. There's a big white oak right behind me. A couple other white oaks around, some shagbark hickories. Not as many persimmon trees right here. So I like to kind of spread minerals out all over the place in different types of habitat to watch where the deer are hanging out bedding, feeding, you know, as they go through the summer. Obviously closer to the ag is where they're going to be when the beans are starting to green up and the corn, so we'll have some spots around there. And then as the persimmons start to ripen and drop, or the white oaks, all your early season trees, that's where I like to put the emphasis on the minerals. That's when they're going to be using them the most, when they're, you know, throwing on antler size in the summer and early fall. So this is spot number 2. We're going to do the same thing. Put a little brick just right on top, season it up real good. It's kind of like a, you know, something you're going to throw in the fryer. You can't overdo it. So that's number 2. Now we're going to put a camera on the tree and on to the next one. Chase is putting the camera up. We got another one of the 12-volt batteries. This one's in a battery box because we had it looking over a duck hole this winter, so we need to make sure it stayed extra dry. Our stand's just right over there on that tree. Access is from over there where the open food plot is. Probably 25-30 yards to the minerals. The deer always bed way back here because there's a 15-acre bean field on the backside of this. You know, that they feed in and they bed all in here in the summertime. Some good fawning cover in here. It's one of the drier spots that has mature timber in it out here. One last note about this spot. When we first found it, we found this old stand barely hanging on the tree. It was hung on with like a piece of bungee cord. But that's something that I always take note of, is where were the old timers hunting, because they did it before cameras, before all the stuff we have today. So if you find an old stand in the woods, make a mental note or mark it on OnX, and it might be worth your time. So for this one I had one trophy rock we put out, other powder mineral, stacked up some sticks. Kind of put this little pile of sticks right here too, so it's kind of out of place. I did that because there's our camera. We're probably going to use that tree behind it to where we can see out in that food plot over there and shoot it back here. So I put those sticks there where Chase is. Think about it, if a deer's coming and eating on these, it's not going to want to stand on top of those. Trying to manipulate it a little bit where it's going to be, you know, the most comfortable spot to feed on them is going to be broadside to that tree. So just kind of another little small detail that may pay off come October.
Yep.
Here's another view of where we just were from the field. Trophy rock back there. One of the big food plots. It's all grown up right now. It's where we were earlier, trying to open up that clover way at the back end back there. We got another camera right here where there's always deer, everything, bobcats, coyotes crossing. Just kind of a natural travel corridor for everything out here. Some white oak trees that we caged last year. It's obviously very grown up, but doing okay. We're going to put the next mineral site somewhere out here. It's going to be more in the open than the other ones. We got to lock on that tree up there. The deer like to bed along this bayou and all this thick stuff. And then on the other side of these woods is an ag field that's going to be bean and corns. So anything coming from that bedding should, you know, stage kind of right here and just shoot through the woods, get some corn and beans before dark.
Right there's a stand. Here we're prepping a tree for the trail camera. We're going to put our minerals right here in this little open area. That way we can watch the edge of the old food plot. It's kind of a transition line with these little oaks. They'll walk the edge of this field a lot. Sometimes they'll drop in here between the heavy hardwoods and the food plot, and this little bit of cover that they can see out of really well. But that's what we're doing.
Here's our makeshift stump. Again, it's nothing crazy, but I left this one little tag right here, so you know, deer's gonna, it's not gonna stand right on top of it and lick this. It's gonna have to kind of pick a side. We're gonna put the camera on that tree I just shimmed up. Our weed eaters are dead, or we would knock all this down. So we'll find out real quick if this is gonna, you know, burn up all our battery on the camera, and we'll have to figure that out if it does. But no time for the camera, but there's another one down. So this is that lock on we were just talking about. We call it Kansas because whenever you get up there, you can see for, I think it was 320 yards or something, is what I ranged it. But it's real pretty. It looks kind of prairie land out there, I guess you'd say. It looks just, when I climbed up there, I said, man, this looks like Kansas. So you can see a lot. It's bedding back there, bedding on the bayou over here. And you can just see them work these little transition lines a lot. They may not be in bow range, but it's still fun to watch them. But over here, you have this little ditch runs right behind Jeremy, and it's a big travel corridor. And then right over there, where you can see the light coming through the trees on the other side of the ditch, it's going to be corn and soybeans this year. So we figured it'd be a good transition line spot to catch them crossing this big ditch. There's a old crossing there, but during season, it's normally just a couple set of tracks right there, 20 yards from that lock on. So kind of why we picked that spot, and it's a bunch of oak trees in here. It's just a big transition line, several different reasons. So that's why we did it. Okay, I figured I'd show y'all how I do my tax cams. I secure all of them to the tree with this cable and a little lock, simple little suitcase lock. Clearly, if somebody wants it bad enough, they can get it, but this at the very least provides them, you know, one more barrier to just being able to walk off with it, which you would think on private land wouldn't happen, but it does. So depending on the size of the tree, you can wrap it around once or twice. And then the camera has this little spot already made for a lock. In case you didn't know that, if you don't want anybody checking your SD card at camp or whatever, you can just throw a little cheap lock on it. I've never had any problem with these rusting where I couldn't get them off. And just kind of pull it where it's tight and out of the way. And then there you go. It's one little measure of security. Nothing fancy. We got our stick as always, kind of angle the camera down. That's it. Okay, this is our 6th mineral spot of the day. We're now across a highway and probably 2 miles as the crow flies from where we've been the rest of the morning. So it's not like we're just throwing all these minerals, you know, right on top of each other. But we picked this spot because it's a big bend in the creek right here where this beaver dam is. It's really about the only way to access this block of timber. Come in from the other side where there's a road, and those woods are real thin. You just got to punch through the woods, hop across the creek, climb up in any of these trees right here, and then you're hunting a bunch of big woods, all planted CRP oaks mainly. Over there where you can kind of see the light punching through is a planted bean field, and this is kind of a big bend in a creek right here, so the woods are surrounded by water on this whole side. On the back side you can't see, and then the field over there, and there's water to my back. So again, they're going to cross on this beaver dam, and so are we, and then come easing through the woods from that way. And then the hard corner of the bean field where it meets the bayou is just right up there where they tend to stage and get ready to come out and feed in the beans. So should be a good spot. The only thing I'd worry about here is the wind, being in the bend of a creek. But on to the next one. So here's our 7th and final mineral site of the day. You can tell where they've been hitting it just from last year's residual minerals. This is in a kind of a funnel in between 2 big blocks of CRP.
Yeah, much persimmon.
There's a lot of white oaks and persimmon trees in here. It kind of holds water in the middle, so the deer kind of pinch down to this side. So we're going to get this last one done up and head south.
Two thumbs up.
I ran out of cell cameras, so we're going to put our faith in this old guy. Hopefully it works.
Like and subscribe.
Well, that's going to do it for our work day out here in the Delta. The rain's moving in, so we're getting out of here in the nick of time. But to kind of wrap up, we did 7 total mineral sites spread out over several miles of property, several different types of habitat. We tried our best to explain. We weed eated some grass to try to release some clover. No idea if that's going to work or not. Anything else we did you can think of? We had fun.
We enjoyed ourselves.
That's most important.
I don't know. Got outside today.
Yep.
A lot better than what we've been doing.
Any day outside is a good day for me. So.
And took a break from the turkeys for a minute.
Yeah,
that was good. So.
Turkey season's over for me, but he's headed out of state, so maybe he can get us some more content. But
maybe. We'll see.
Yep. We appreciate y'all watching, and we're going to do some more videos of this as we move closer to deer season. Kind of just the steps we take throughout the summer, doing some prep work mainly for bow season. So y'all be sure and check out the next one, and we'll see you then.